Get that garbage elevator music out of my headphones right this instant. You are listening to WMUC Digital College Park. Welcome to Moral Hazard. I'm your host, Stephen Fung, joined by the brilliant, the hilarious, the all-powerful Liv Sevy. Liv, you talked before I even introduced you. My God. Say hi, Liv.
Hi. I'm glad to be here.
Really? Really? You're glad?
I'm real
flipping
excited.
Me off in the studio as we speak.
No lying.
Okay.
Fake news.
That is Olivia Sevy. She is a philosophy major, right?
Yep.
Philosophy major here at UMD. Super senior.
No.
Actually, what? Is it super duper senior? No. She's a junior. And when I started Moral Hazard, I told Liv, I was like, listen, I want you to be the first guest. First episode, I want you to be the guest. It turns out I scheduled the show in the middle of one of her classes, so she is actually, can I say it? Her class was canceled. We're going to say her class was canceled.
It was, actually.
Okay.
In the wake of the election, it was online.
Right. Yeah. Well, now you spoiled it. No one knew what was going to happen in this episode, and now they know what we're going to talk about. So we're changing the topics.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah. Going on the fly.
So we're coming live from the Roy Cohn studio. This studio has been dedicated to Roy Cohn, the infamous and also beloved figure who gave rise to second-term President Donald Trump. Yeah. Non-consecutive terms. It's going to be great. Unless something happens. No, he'll be fine. He's in great health. He was working at McDonald's the other day. He's getting those reps in.
Yeah.
You know.
Eating all the nutrients.
We'll get to that McDonald's. We'll get to that McDonald's bit in a second because that was possibly the saddest moment for me on election. Waking up, realizing Donald Trump won. I'll get to that. Moral Hazard is your go-to hour of usually garbage, but it's going to be great now that we have a brilliant guest here. It was garbage, it was brain atrophy, but now it's refined, right? Now it's intelligent. The average IQ in this studio increased by like 30 points now that Liv's here.
Now it's like at a 90.
Yeah. Wait, you're in double digits? What?
You can get more than 100?
Yes. So, I'm your host, Stephen Fung. I am a business major who was doing poorly on all my classes, but I will say, you know, it's an upward trend, right? You know, we're improving. I'm learning how to open my textbook. I'm learning how to color inside the lines. I actually do have a midterm at, 6:30 today? And we're allowed to bring like an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper with notes on it. You can have notes on both sides. I didn't show you this, but it's actually, my notes are a sticky note that is folded up in the top pocket of my backpack, so it's going to be great.
This is the Spelling 101 exam you were telling me about the other day?
Well, as it turns out, I just needed to write down the order of like the M's and the N's. So we've got M and LOP, and that's pretty much all you need.
Awesome.
So, I do need a pencil, though. So do you have a pencil in your backpack? I will need that after the show.
I got you.
Anyways, our current news stack is Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, HBR. That's Harvard Business Review. I highly recommend no one ever, reads a HBR article in their lives. If you are forced to, then put it in ChatGPT. That's how it was written anyways. It's the worst journalism. HBR, can you consider it journalism? It's just like, it's garbage. Anyways, we're live from UMD. I already said that. This episode's Alum of the Week. Some of you might have missed it. Last week we talked about, I think it was just a random UMBC, or the lack of alums from UMBC. I forgot what we talked. We were dogging on UMBC. We're back to dogging on UMD because this episode's Alum of the Week is the hilarious but also apparently somewhat unstable and also mysterious Larry David, right? You guys know who Larry David is. He's the Seinfeld guy. He's the Curb Your Enthusiasm guy. He's funny. But he was also on SNL. Not a lot of people know that. He was on there for like one season, and like in the middle of it, he quit. Like he like yelled at his boss and was like, "I quit." And then he showed up the next day pretending like nothing happened because he wanted to keep his job. He can be heard.
I did that a couple of times this summer, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everyone knows. You know, that's the best way to get that return offer for your internship. It has to be an on and off relationship with your employer. That's what they're saying at HBR, you know?
Yeah.
But, yes, he quit, showed up the next day, acting like nothing happened. If you've seen Seinfeld, there's an episode in Seinfeld where George Costanza does the exact same thing. But, you know, he had a very short-lived time at SNL. Thank God he saved his career with Seinfeld. But yeah, I tried to do research on him. There's not a lot of documentation on his time at UMD. I believe he showed up to UMD for like some event. I think it was a football game. It was a football game. Yeah. You really cannot find much. Like you really cannot find many like sources, like credible sources that are saying like, yes, this is what Larry David did at UMD. Everyone on the internet is saying he was a history major. Even his like Wikipedia says that, but there are no sources that actually come from UMD, which I think is interesting. And I found there is an archive on the old UMD website. It's like Terps or something like that. There's an archive page that like lists like famous alumni, and on there's Larry David. It does not say he was a history major. It says he was a business administration major. So Larry David, can I call you Larry? Please come home. Please embrace the Robert H. Smith School of Business. Please stop pretending to be RU, all right? None of that nonsense, okay?
Hey, not too much on RU.
You're a true Smith student, through and through, all right? But yeah, no, I tried to like go on that current UMD Alumni Association website. It's down. So it's been down for a while. I remember like last week I was trying to like find some alumni and I couldn't find any because the Alumni Association's website was down. So that's why I did UMBC. I was like, you know what, screw it. We're gonna trash on a different school. You were telling me though. You were telling me that there was a website. We were early out in the lobby. What were you saying about?
Yes, yeah. It used to be the case that if you typed in the domain umdrejects.com, you would get redirected to the UMBC official website. I actually tried to do it about an hour ago, and I got a pop-up message saying my IP address had been leaked, so I don't know, maybe their comp sci department over there is finally fighting back. I don't know. Yeah.
I just tried to Google it. I just tried to like search it up right now. The UMB or UMD rejects.
Yeah,
UMD. I tried to search up UMD rejects and like it redirected to some strange website called what is that? clcrompter.com. So it seems as though a disgruntled UMBC student has purchased the domain and is trying to scam UMD students. But I was telling you this, that is not going to work because UMD students got these are students that got into UMD. They know not to fall for the free iPad scam, and you know your address has been leaked to the CCP. They don't fall for that anymore. Listen, if you want to get away with that, you need to get the UMBC rejects domain, and then that one's supposed to redirect to Towson, and then you put stuff in, because UMD students who want to like make fun of Towson, they're gonna fall for that. They want the iPad.
Yeah, there you go.
Have you been to UMBC?
I have, only for sporting events.
Have you ever been there like on a Friday? You've never been there on like a Friday night, like?
I have not. I hear it's a real suitcase school, though.
It is so boring. Yeah. My God.
I believe it.
I had to drop a coworker off at UMBC. It was like it's a busy. It's supposed to be like one of those busy nights. Like kids are supposed to be out there. It looked like a ghost town, and I couldn't. It was dark. It's not well lit at UMBC. So to me, it just seemed like I was driving through like a random suburb, like nothing was going on. It was so strange. Let's Google UMBC rejects and see where that actually takes you.
I'm intrigued.
wmuc.umd.edu doesn't go anywhere. So
It's up. Hey,
Yeah.
it's up for grabs, UMBC.
Yeah, well, if you wanted to make fun of someone, what? Are there any UMBC? Has anyone ever been rejected from UMBC?
I don't know. I feel like their application pool isn't large enough for them to reject anybody.
Listen, if you know how to submit a college application, if you know how to use Common App, you're already like meeting the bar to get into UMBC. Like there's not much further.
Attached to that email that says your application has been received is your diploma.
Yeah, you get the diploma right there and then. Listen, the people that get rejected from UMBC are the people who are like, I don't know, they voted in this election by like writing a sticky note and putting it on their fridge. Like, I don't think, anyone who knows how to apply for college or is like, maybe I should go to college. I don't think anybody that like wants to go to college is going to get rejected from UMBC. And listen, if you're a UMBC listener, get your own radio station, frankly. You got to figure it out for yourself. Anyways, it's been a slow news week, right? Not a lot happened. I really couldn't find it. I was like, I opened up my Wall Street Journal like newspaper. It was like a tissue folded together and like a moth flew out of it. So
yeah, honestly, not a lot going on.
Yeah, I know. There was that election though. Did you vote in that?
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Hold on.
Yeah, no. Okay, yes. So I hope you guys are aware, unless you are one of our Moroccan listeners, that there was an election in the great United States of America last night. And some people are unhappy and Liv is actually very happy.
Oh, shut up.
She walked up to me outside the station. She was bouncing with excitement. She was like, "It's so sunny. It's 90 degrees in November. I love it."
Yeah, I'm so happy that it's global warming's finally kicking in.
It's only going up from here. And I frankly am excited.
You mean like the general morale or the temperature?
No, the temperature.
Okay,
the temperature. And then the morale comes with it because look, seasonal affective disorder, or it's seasonal affective disorder,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
Sad affects millions of liberals across the United States of America who are forced to work at their desk jobs and can't go outside from 9 to 5, and then they get out from work and it's already cloudy and dark and whatever. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Because I'm telling you, 2028, when you're like after you voted in Donald Trump for his third term,
my God,
you're gonna be happy on Inauguration Day when you're wearing shorts and a Hawaiian shirt when he takes the oath.
Honestly, I'm more offended that you think I would ever wear a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, listen, I was just speaking from my perspective.
All
okay,
right.
If you want to wear like one of those Tony Soprano Cuban shirts, that's fine by me. Okay, so we'll start with market moves. The S&P 500, SPY, that is the I believe that's Vanguard. I don't know. SPY is up 2.35% as of the last time I wrote these notes, which was like at 1 p.m. So it's up pretty big. I think it's at a record high for this year, right? Anyways, SPY's up 2.35%. Great news for the gambling addicted white-collar workers, people who have a job but are also gambling addicted. They had a very nice day today with the S&P 500 going up by 2.35%. And for the gambling addicts who don't have jobs, Bitcoin is up 8.3%. That's great news for you guys. Maybe, just maybe, you can move out your parents' basement. Yield curve, I will say, yield curve is still inverted. Who knows what's going to happen with that? It's been inverted for what, like over 2 years now. This is the longest. I don't know if you know about yield curve inversions, but like back in the day, that was the sign. Economists were like, yield curve, it's inverted. We're going to go into a recession. We've been in a yield curve inversion for 2 years now. This is the longest we've ever had a yield curve inversion, and it just keeps going up. So either all the economists are wrong or recession's happening. What's your opinion?
I don't know. Looks like maybe it could be happening very soon, but...
Listen, if a recession happens and people start losing their jobs, as long as I get to keep my job, I'll be fine. Yeah,
that's the real Republican mindset.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I voted for no comment.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say Jill Stein for a second.
No. I'll level with the listeners and you as well. I didn't vote.
All right.
And there's a simple explanation for that, right. And it's because I'm gonna come out as an idiot right now. I didn't understand. First of all, I didn't know when the election was. And it was my understanding that I could just go to the University of Maryland polling center and vote in person. Because that's what I did on midterms. I thought I could just do that for the presidential election. Apparently, I had to go back home. I was not doing that. All right? My vote has been suppressed. Next time, listen, if you Democrats, if you liberals truly believe in making sure that everyone has equal access to votes, you should really work on making sure that I pay attention in class, because I had no idea what was going on. I was sitting on the toilet on election day. I was like, how do I vote?
That's the left's big platform for 2028 is getting Stephen Fung to vote.
Listen, I am the swing voter. I am the swing voter.
You are the state of Pennsylvania.
Listen, guys, Stephen Fung did not vote for the presidential election, but you know who did vote? My 7 aliases, all right?
Oh,
and
there you go.
I'll tell you why it was 7 votes. Because I sent out 1 vote for Trump to Michigan, 1 vote for Trump to Wisconsin, 1 vote to Kamala for Maryland and then California, and then I forgot where I sent the other 2. Bottom line is, I sent out the Kamala and Trump votes to different states, and then I sent 1 Jill Stein vote. That's the one I did in person, wearing a mustache.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You actually didn't vote?
I may run a show where I yell about politics and business and news and all that, but I'll be honest, who cares?
All 3 people listening are giving you a huge thumbs down right now.
Listen, if you are giving me a huge thumbs down, you can call in. The phone's unplugged, but you can certainly dial. You can dial. A receptionist will take your message. We don't have a receptionist. Okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes. But first, say some random stuff. I'm going to start a PSA. We forgot to do one at the top of the hour.
All right. I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday. And just remember that, I don't know, I'm really trying to stay optimistic right now.
Would you like to hear the Filipino Cultural Association do a karaoke, or not a karaoke, what's the word? A remix of a Kanye West song, a spoof. Yes. Would you like to hear, or a parody?
A parody.
Yes.
Why could neither of us remember that word?
That is the word. Would you like to hear a Filipino Cultural Association parody of a Kanye West song?
I would love nothing more.
Okay, because that's what you're going to get, because it's the only thing that won't get me copyright striked on YouTube. And it's coming on right now. And we can talk over it, too. No, I'm kidding. Don't talk over it. It's important. Can we get that going? What is going on? Why is it not playing?
Technical difficulty.
Very technical. Oh my God, I did the same mistake again as last week. All right, we're going to start it from the beginning because this is an important one, all right? Filipino Cultural Association is hereby endorsed by Moral Hazard for messing up their PSA twice now.
No one man should have all that culture, but this club can, we got the most. FCA's got GBMs every other Thursday. FCA@umd.com.
And we're back. Some people might complain that all I do is play the Filipino Cultural Association's PSA. But to be honest, all the other PSAs have like copyrighted music in them. One of these is Carly Rae Jepsen. I do want to play that. I'll take the copyright check. I want to know what song they're playing with that one. This one, there's one here that reads STI testing with music. It doesn't say what the song is. It just says with music.
With music. What artist do you think that would be?
Well, I'm imagining that it's actually just a hot mic of someone getting STI tested.
Oh.
And the nurse is just singing a song to them while it happens.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great mental image.
Yeah. So let's talk about what's happened in the past week. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to lead up to the election, and then we're going to talk about Jill Stein's historic loss. So Trump did that Madison Square Garden event. I think that was on last Tuesday or last Monday.
Yep.
Did you watch that?
I saw bits and pieces of it, unfortunately.
That was incredible. There's no other word to describe it than incredible.
Then unbelievable.
Oh, that's a good one. What other words can we think of? Incomprehensible?
Incomprehensible.
Oh, I love that one.
Unfathomable?
Unfathomable. It was all those things. Because I will never understand why candidates who want to, like, win the popular vote are putting on people, A, no one's ever heard of, and people, B, who are terrible at their jobs. Donald Trump had on a couple people. He had Tucker Carlson. People like Tucker Carlson. He had on, I forgot who else, but he horrifically had on Tony Hinchcliffe. Did you know who Tony Hinchcliffe was before all this?
I did.
Oh, you watch Kill Tony, don't you?
No.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Listen. I've tried to watch Kill Tony because it's been recommended to me by so many people who don't have jobs, and it was horrible. Tony Hinchcliffe, you could have picked anyone on Kill Tony. Kill Tony is a show where they it's an open mic, it's a live comedy show, it's an open mic, like people come on and they like do their 1 minute or the 30 seconds of stand-up. You could have picked any of the losers who go on to do their 1 minute of stand-up and get made fun of horrendously. Any one of those people would have been a better pick than Tony Hinchcliffe. Tony Hinchcliffe sits there, he owns the show, he just sits there and makes like snide remarks that aren't funny. He's just mean.
That's kind of what you do, though, isn't it? Like,
I am not funny and I am mean. But listen, if Kamala asked me to go on stage and open for her, I would know it was a bad idea. I'd do it, but I'd know it was a bad idea.
Yep.
There's a reason why Kamala HQ hasn't contacted me to make a TikTok with them yet.
Right.
But listen, there are standards, right? You know, I'm allowed to not be funny, and I'm allowed to be stupid and not vote. But you're trying to get the vote out. You're trying to win over the hearts and minds of the American people. You don't put on Tony Hinchcliffe. You don't put him on.
That's a fair assessment. I agree.
But it's like words cannot describe how unfunny Tony Hinchcliffe is to like the normal American, because the average American, their exposure to comedians is people who are funny, and that's why they're popular, and that's why you get to hear them, because they are funny. No one in America is hearing people like Tony Hinchcliffe, who he's like 40 now, right?
Yeah, close to it.
He, that seems old for like a comedian, but like for some reason, like comedians are only funny when they get old. Like, so he's still got he's got his years ahead of him. But it's failed comedian. He's done like one Netflix show in like 2016 and never got invited back. I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, I think that Joe Rogan is funnier than Tony Hinchcliffe.
I mean, I don't have, just because I hear the name and the hairs on my arm stands up, I've not listened to a ton of Joe Rogan, but I'm afraid that maybe I'll just grow a mullet if I start listening to Joe Rogan. That would be incredibly scary.
Well, listen, I want to clarify, Joe Rogan is not funny, but I figured he is funnier than Tony. Did you know Joe Rogan started out as a stand-up comedian?
I did know that, actually.
How did you know that? Because my only exposure to Joe Rogan growing up was like watching UFC clips, and he was like the annoying guy who knew nothing about UFC in the background.
remember hearing like something about the podcast, and the first time I was introduced to it, it was like secondhand. Somebody was like, "Oh my God, this obnoxious, far right comedian is starting this like the Joe Rogan podcast or whatever." And I was like, "This is supposed to be funny?" Like,
whoa! So you were there from the beginning.
I'm a day one fan.
Day
no, I'm just
one
kidding.
Joe Rogan fan. My God. I always thought that Joe Rogan and Dana White were related, literally just because they were bald and like were involved with the UFC.
Yep.
To be fair, they are also both on steroids, so they do have similar body types and facial structures. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Listen, there's no. This is not me calling out steroid users. There are ways. It's your body, it's your choice. But if you roid rage and things happen, you will be held accountable, all right?
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, if you go on a crazy streak after doing ayahuasca and the roids and the ayahuasca start messing with your brain and you decide to blow up the Joe Rogan studios, I'm not saying I will be disappointed, but I am saying that you will have to go to jail. Oh, yeah. Joe Rogan had a Netflix special recently, which was his resurgence in comedy. Yeah, he was pushing it. Don't listen to it or don't watch it, I guess. Well, don't do either, all right? I'm sorry I even mention it because you're better off not knowing about it. It's so unfunny. And Tony Hinchcliffe is the reason, or Joe Rogan is the reason Tony Hinchcliffe is even a thing, right? Because have you heard of that thing where it's the Rogan sphere of comedians? You go on Rogan and all of a sudden your career is made.
I have not.
There are Ari something. I don't. It starts with an S, but bunch of comedians go on Rogan and all of a sudden their careers are made because now people know who they are. Bloomberg described Tony Hinchcliffe as a C-list comedian. I don't think that's a fair description. I'm going to be completely honest.
I think he's a little bit closer to Z.
Yeah.
WXYZ list comedian.
Well, as we know,
the alphabet now.
No, as we know, I am struggling with that. So
okay.
We can do an alphabet review session before the end of the show just to make sure I've got it all together. But I wrote these notes about Tony Hinchcliffe before the election. I was sincerely hoping that Tony Hinchcliffe would cost Donald Trump at least something.
Yeah.
But I remember reading Kamala, this was in Madison Square Garden. Kamala has had the lowest, in New York, the state of New York, Kamala had the lowest percent of the vote for a Democrat in years.
It's just so embarrassing.
This is the most embarrassing loss for the Democratic Party. Look, Hillary Clinton losing in 2016, I don't blame the Democratic Party for that one. That was a curveball, right? Divas usually don't get to the debate stage, so it's fair that Clinton's team didn't know what to do against him. But come on, this is your third election against the guy. He doesn't change anything. If anything, he's gotten worse.
He's gotten dumber.
His debate performance against Kamala was objectively worse, and we're still worse than 2020. Joe Biden somehow pulled it together, but Democratic Party can't do it.
I will say, in terms of the debate performance, it was so hilarious to me watching the Trump-Harris debate in contrast with the Walz and Vance one, because I was like, oh my God, this just looks like two normal people having a conversation. It's a nice break from all the crazy we get in everyday American politics.
It's insane. You realize how much of a caricature Trump is.
Yeah, it's insane. It's shocking.
Yeah, it was beautiful to watch. Unfortunately, now Tim Walz is a wasted asset by the Democratic Party because
I can't imagine him losing Minnesota.
Yeah,
that must have felt not great.
Yeah. But no, I thought didn't they win Minnesota? What? It was Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and then I'm pretty sure they got Minnesota, didn't they? And then they lost Michigan and Wisconsin.
No, I don't believe Minnesota was a swing state this year. I think it was just Michigan and Wisconsin.
No. Minnesota.
I could be wrong.
Minnesota was part of the blue wall. But I was like looking at those because they're all next to each other. Listen, I don't have any political education. I know what the blue wall is, and I know they're part of the blue wall. And I was looking at them over the night. Did they lose Minnesota? Did the Dems lose Minnesota?
You caught me in a lie.
You
did.
Yes.
All right. Well, a little bit of consolation for Tim Walz then.
Yeah. You know what? You still have moral high ground because I still didn't vote. So there you go. Yeah. To be fair, though, I think like anything on my ballot that I would have voted for, I got anyways, right? Because like
Maryland had a very pleasing results in the election.
Because I mean, Hogan lost to also Brooks.
Hogan's out. We voted yes on question 1.
Voted yes on question 1, and I didn't really care about anything else that was on there. They were like, you're Baltimore County, right, or Baltimore City?
County.
Okay, yeah. So we would have had the same ballot.
Yep.
I would have just like voted no for remain in office for all of them because I don't know what they do. So I was just been like, yeah, let's get somebody new in anyways.
Yep. No, that was the justices I actually did look into just because that's my area of expertise.
Your area of expertise is justice?
Yes. No,
okay.
I'm like Batman.
Oh my God. I was on the walk in here. I was listening to Bloomberg Radio, and they had this consultant on because I mean, right? It's not officially called yet, but we're expecting that. I mean, okay, so Republicans already have Senate. They already have presidency. It's like a 97% chance that they get the House, according to like market odds and implied odds. So they had a consultant on, and he was talking. I'm sorry. He was talking about what is going to happen in terms of like upholding the Constitution if like the entire, if the Republican Party have control of everything, because they have executive, judicial, and then legislative. He was saying how like we do have the military to uphold the Constitution. I was like, you need to stop talking. They're going to use this against you.
Yeah.
Like technically, yes, you're right. Like the military's job is like at the end of the day, they are beholden to the Constitution, and if anyone's like messing with it, they have to like they should go in and like fix it. But like you can't say that,
right?
You can't say that on Bloomberg Radio. You can't say that with all those listeners. Like they're gonna take it as you saying like there should be a military coup right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, people are panicking.
I'm holding out hope a little bit, even though we do like Senate, House, and executive are all looking very red at the moment. I can only hope that Republicans hate themselves more than Democrats hate them, and that there will be a lot of, I don't know, it seems like that party is in kind of like a gridlocky area right now.
Well, what can you do, really? You already cast your vote, and I already didn't vote, so there's not much we can do now except react and post on our Instagram stories. So starting tomorrow at midnight, my profile picture will be a blue square on Instagram. Mm-hmm. You guys can look out for that.
Wait, is that's for Blue Lives Matter, right?
Yes, of
course. That's what you're going for?
No, it's going to be the American flag, but only the thin red lines.
Gotcha.
And then instead of 50 stars, I'm only going to put the amount of stars that Republicans won in the election for president.
Oh, okay.
So every other star gets cast aside.
I couldn't help but laugh a little bit last night when I kept hearing them use the word blue wall, because I just kept thinking blue wall of silence, and I was like, wow, how fitting that Harris is an ex-cop. She went from one blue wall to another.
So, listen, I know that I'm formally educated in political science and all that, but could you educate me on what the blue wall is? Because I don't know.
Oh, blue wall of silence?
Yeah, blue wall of silence.
It's the kind of like unspoken oath for cops to protect one another.
Well, snitches get stitches. You could have just said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they called it the blue wall, not the snitch wall. So.
Well, they don't. It's not a. It's just like. Worst comes to worst, you snitch on your fellow cop and horse head in your
when
you wake up and you're next to you in bed. Yeah. the little cavalry, those little cavalry cops. They wake up with their own horse's head in their bed.
Aww.
Or if you're a bike cop, you wake up with your
the handlebars.
Yeah, you wake up with the handlebars, and then yeah. So what else? What else do we got? Hillary Clinton was blindsided. We already talked about that. Oh yes, So I'm sure leading up to the election, you knew, like, in the back of your head, like, there was a very real possibility that Trump would win this. What was your plan? Did you have a plan? What is your response? How are you going to react?
Well, probably what you tell me to do all the time, which is go back home.
Yes.
Run
yes.
back up north.
Yes.
But...
Run back up north to Canada. Your log cabin is safe, okay?
Yep.
Is Justin Trudeau still Prime Minister?
Do you know what's really embarrassing is I couldn't tell you if that's true or not.
Well, maybe someone else who did brownface can be... do they have prime ministers or presidents? Listen, I don't care about Canada.
They're prime ministers.
It's a prime minister. Okay.
Yes.
Well, maybe whoever is still Prime Minister of Canada will let you back in.
Did you know Trudeau was born on Christmas?
The greatest Christmas present I ever got
was Justin Trudeau.
Listen, Halloween, Halloween night, I was going around, I didn't have a costume on. And, people would walk up to me and be like, "What is your costume?" Because I was just wearing like a jacket. And in the moment I came up with it was perfect, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's the perfect Halloween costume. And I told them that I was Justin Trudeau. I was wearing brownface.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and people often, white women often didn't know if they were allowed to laugh at it, but white guys laughed at it because
they're shameless.
Yeah, it's shameless. It's shameless. They love Joe Rogan. They love Tony Hinchcliffe. Well, also it was in Towson, so.
All right, fair enough.
It was that kind of crowd.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a mixed bag of reactions. I was hoping for overwhelming applause and a standing ovation, but I'll take what I can get.
Instead, you had to cope with the UMBC rejects over there, huh?
Yeah. But no, I mean, I just told them it was really good makeup. You can't rub it off. So no one tried to. But it kind of works, right? Because like. I don't sound like a non-white person, You listen to this, you're like, Tim Dillon? Wow, that's really you? But no, the next night I actually did put on a costume. I was someone from Mad Max Fury Road. Have you ever been to Spirit Halloween after Halloween?
I have not.
It
feels like a very liminal space.
It was absolutely pitiful. I went there on November 1st to like scramble for a Halloween costume, and I opened the doors, the shelves like the standing shelves on the floor, they're all ripped out. Like,
oh my God.
You could see the plywood floor underneath, because what they do is they put the shelves and then they put carpet around the shelves. So
right.
So you could just see like patches of like wood showing up out of the carpet. There was nothing there. I had my two options were either I bought these steampunk goggles and figured out what to do with them, or I bought inside out face paint so I could be well, it was actually a pretty good deal, because for $10 I could be joy, sadness, anger, or disgust.
Wow.
I had my choice of like 4 different colors. So one day I'll go back and I will be something for Halloween. One of the Inside Out characters,
Yeah. Dude, I've heard like a funny amount of people tell me that they're already locked in for next year. They're like thinking of their costumes and stuff already. And I was like, I know it's going to be the weekend before, and everyone's going to be like, "Do you have a pair of cat ears?"
Yeah. You're going to see a lot of very uncreative Halloween costumes, reuses. I saw someone who was a cat, and it was actually very high quality because they had a furry tail too.
Oh.
And you could tell it was not a cat. It was not supposed to be a cat's tail. I think they were just a furry who had a tail.
Yeah.
And they were just like, I'm just going to put on the cat ears, put on the tail, and now it's a high-end cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the one the one Kanye tweet where he's like, Halloween is the one day a year where you don't have to wear a costume or you don't have to wear a mask or something.
Yeah.
That's the furry sentiment.
He really got us there, you know? But what were you for Halloween?
I had a couple of different costumes. I was one night.
Aladdin.
No.
Okay.
One of my roommates and I were Kim Possible and Shigo.
Okay.
That was a fun costume.
Okay, sick.
And then I was Mia from Pulp Fiction one of the nights.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that. You told me about that.
That
and
was
then
funny.
Wilkes, your boyfriend, he was Jules, or
No.
he was Samuel L. Jackson?
No.
Okay.
No, he was John Travolta's character.
Okay.
He was Vince.
All right. Well, you get him next time.
I know, you gave me that suggestion a little while ago, and it was even less funny that time.
Listen. People need to get more creative with their Halloween costumes, all right?
All right.
No one remembers Vince. Everyone remembers Jules, okay?
Yeah. That's a fair statement, actually.
Yeah. But, you'll get him next time. Yeah, it was a great Halloween. I hope everyone had a fun time for Halloween. I hope you guys took care of yourselves.
Yep.
And I hope you guys had fun more than anything. So
yes. Hope everyone drank their liquid IV the next day.
Oh, sure, yeah. All right. Next steps with this election.
Mm-hmm.
So people are speculating about, will Elon Musk get his Doge department? Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Elon Musk wants to be the chief of cost cutting in the great United States of America. He's calling it the Department of Government Efficiency.
Doge.
Yeah, Doge.
Amazing.
This is the guy that, well, we didn't vote for him, but we voted for. Well, I didn't vote for anybody, but people voted. People voted for the guy who was going to put him in charge of this stuff. Insane stuff. Nothing has been promised yet.
All right.
Nothing has been promised.
That feels to me a little bit like putting a wolf in charge of like sheep preservation. I don't know.
Well, it's also that, but it's also like, I don't know, putting Kevin Malone from The Office in charge of like the diet plan at Dunder Mifflin, because Elon Musk does not know how to cut costs at all.
Nope.
At all. He bought Twitter and he fired 80% of the staff, and now he calls it X, and it sucks.
And it sucks.
It sucks. And, well, I just don't understand why Trump is all buddy-buddy with the direct competitor of his media company. Trump made that Twitter knockoff. What's it called? Truth Social? Truth Social.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the one.
Yes. Have you ever been on that?
I have not.
It's just Twitter with like red, white, and blue coloring.
Should I visit it right now? Truthsocial.com?
Truthsocial. They might make you log in, but
they might try to steal my IP address again.
Yeah. You might win a free iPad. Yeah. Go ahead. Look it up. It sucks. It's terrible. But now Elon Musk and Donald Trump have very competing priorities in terms of like who's gonna do what. Trump Media Company, or what's it called? Trump Media Group, Trump Media Company. It's ticker mark DJT was up something like 30% at market open today. Which was like 30% from market close the previous day. It was now up 30%. It dropped so bad. And now it's only up like 3% since market close. So I feel bad for anybody who was like, Donald Trump won the election, I'm going to buy DJT.
Yeah.
Because you didn't do your due diligence. Because when you think about it, first of all, if you're putting a guy like Elon Musk in charge of like a major part of the government, now he's going to have like the influence and power to elevate Twitter and things like that. So not only are you competing with someone who's also in a very high position of power, thanks to you, your app has no purpose now. You've already done your 2 terms.
Right.
But we can always pray for a third. 2028.
Can we?
2028. Hopes and prayers are always answered. That's what, that's the only lesson I've learned. So,
all right.
Listen, Republicans of moral hazard, I need you all to meet each other and get in a circle and hold hands, close your eyes for 30 minutes, and say, please, Donald Trump, go for a third term, please, and it'll happen.
Dude, is this how we get more people into crystals, actually?
Oh my God. Okay, so I think crystals could be a bipartisan effort, because it'll be Republican women and Republican men like getting together and like buying crystals so Trump somehow like voids the Constitution, goes for a third term. And then it'll also be Democratic men and women who are like praying that the Democrats somehow figure out how to win an election.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the crystals are very very popular among both ex-Tumblr hippies and anti-vax moms. So I mean, if that's already a step in the right direction.
Exactly. The worst from both sides. It's a bipartisan. Well, I bought stock in the world's largest crystal distributor, so we're hoping that goes up. I've also bought Chinese municipal bonds. I've dug up dirt on Jamie Dimon, which turns out, do you know who Jamie Dimon is? Okay, well, he's like God for business majors. All right.
Okay.
He is the
JP Morgan.
Yeah, CEO of JP Morgan. I think he's their longest standing CEO for like a long time now. He's been through a lot, and he's the go-to voice when people want to talk about finance. And when people want to hear about finance, they listen to Jamie Dimon. Turns out that he never endorsed anyone, but his wife like donated a considerable amount for Kamala and was like campaigning for her. So maybe
Good
dirt
for
on
her.
Jamie Dimon doesn't really help me at all. Gonna have to get dirt on somebody else.
Yep.
It really sucks when you have the Trump administration. There's really the people in power, like there's nothing you can find that they haven't already like copped to.
Yes, yeah, that they've copped to and that the American public has completely ignored.
Either completely ignored or like forgiven somehow.
Yeah, taken it and been like, hell yeah.
Yeah. But Tesla spiked 14%. Which really doesn't make any sense, because Donald Trump like has openly campaigned that he's going to cut back on all the EV spending that Joe Biden has done. So how are you getting your charging stations?
I actually think that that's super ironic that the pioneer in like gasless cars is now there. I'm very interested to see how Elon Musk is going to cope with the fact that he is now like in the administration of someone who is directly against his line of business succeeding. Yeah. He's in a little bit of a Troy Bolton situation right now.
Well,
which side do I pick?
Who is Troy Bolton?
Excuse you? High School Musical?
Oh, the High School Musical guy. Well,
no, I wasn't trying to make like a niche political joke. Don't worry.
No,
it's just Disney.
I also don't know. I have never watched High School Musical, so.
All right, I know what we're doing after this episode.
Yeah, I'm skipping my exam to watch High School Musical because listen, folks, the power of friendship is the best thing for your GPA, all right?
So true.
It is the only thing that will save your GPA is the power of friendship. So that's why you, UMD student listening to Moral Hazard, you should go to the student next to you in class and sign an agreement to copy off